Alrighty, we are live. Welcome to Nordic Quarterly News. For the next 30 minutes, we're going to do a quick tour across the Nordics. We're going to hear from PropTech Sweden, PropTech Norway, and PropTech Finland, and of course, PropTech Denmark. Surprise. I'm broadcasting here live from Blocks Hub in Copenhagen, even though it looks like a dual-use neo-brutalist bunker, but it is indeed the TV studio coming live at you. And I'm excited to be joined by Daniel and Roger and Pavel. And basically, let's kick off with a quick round of what's been the best thing since we last met. Roger.
Thank you so much for that. Roger from PropTech Sweden. Last thing since we met was we had a very successful PropTech Connect in London, I think. And we will have, so that I think that was successful. Great to see so much real estate players from Nordics and also a lot of amazing key players from PropTech from the Nordics. Findable from Norway took a great position there. So well done.
Incidentally, a past Nordic PropTech winner, if I'm not mistaken. Daniel, any news from Norway that the best thing since we last met?
I think maybe good to see you all, by the way. I think the best thing is, we've been booking about 150 speakers for the also PropTech Summit later in October, and I've spoken to every single one of them about PropTech and the market. So the best thing is probably I'm a lot wiser now.
Great, fantastic. Looking forward to that. And Pavel, tuning in from Killer Hub in Maria 1.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Pavel Foley from PropTech Finland. So we've been very busy over here. If I'm going to lift one thing up, we have a new ecosystem under us that I'll get more in depth to when we go over the rounds of what everyone's doing. And we've been very busy with all our event preparations for the coming season. So I'd say I'm wiser as well than last time.
Excellent. Well, that's great news. So in the next 28 minutes or so, we'll be going through basically all the latest news from across the Nordics, including some super practical calls to action to keep us all apace and moving forward. And in that link, we also have basically people tuning in from across Europe, maybe even further afield. So if you have tuned in and you have the little chat box there, you feel free to introduce yourself, to make a connection across the countries, and also basically share any hopes that you have for the next 30 minutes. But let's dive right in whilst those are basically coming in. I think we can open up the chat box there. I think the first ones are coming in there already. Well, it's very super helpful. We have Stina saying, looking forward to hearing what's new. Great. So Roger, let's have it. What's new in Sweden?
Thank you, Michael, for that. I will borrow you 5 minutes for what's going on here, and I will put some on the headlines that I will push on to you later that you can read about. So number one I want to share is, of course, we have the BA Tech Awards we had in Sweden for a couple of weeks ago. And the good thing, and a very interesting thing with this was actually that Spot Scale, together with Fredrik Thunberg, who's the sales director, won this award. And why I want to push this up is, of course, number one is Spot Scale has been around for a couple of years with Ludwig and Katarina. And they went away a little from PropTech to the industry and so on. But then they started to do the pitch at the BA Tech Awards. And they have, number one, their pitch was amazing. That was one of the best pitches I've seen. And number two is actually how they came back to PropTech and how they came back with the industry. So they're using drone and AI to look at huge infrastructure like bridges and so on if it's cracks. And then with the AI, they can sort it out, look at that, and see if there's any change in the coming years and so on. It's a really cool product, and it's just a way of rethinking how they've done their business model. So again, applaud to SpotScale and congratulations to Fredrik. Another thing I will take up is Avy. Avy just signed a huge contract with Heimstaden, who's a European real estate. So Avy just signed 46,000 flats in Sweden. There's a tenant experience app, but also what we see is they actually just went into Finland. So what I see more and more now from our side is the Swedish or each country's PropTech is actually scaling up into the other Nordics. So it's a very interesting to see this kind of stuff. And also what I want to talk about that is that the real estate players is actually now ready to scale up properly. It's not pilot projects anymore. You're really scaling, and you're scaling it big. So I think that's a little change on the market. Another thing I want to talk about is Voi and the founder of Voi. Everyone knows Voi, you know, the scooters you see everywhere. So he started together with other people something that called Guest It. So this company has been under the radar for many people, but they've been bootstrapped, and now they reached a revenue on 25 million euros. And they just bought a property management company in Åre for the ski. So it's really interesting to see what's actually going on under, not just you know, in the headlines, but there is a lot of property and companies right now that doing great, that hasn't taken so much of our attention. Another one that I want to talk about is a real estate fintech. So One Fine just got an investment in May. I think it was 1.9 million euros, not a huge sum, but these guys took that money and acquired Nordcap, another real estate fintech company. And it was quite interesting to see how the small players actually acquiring the bigger ones. So I think also that's a change on the market, and I think we're gonna actually see more of this. Another one that I want to talk about is that, like I said before, Infrabrick, it's been a company, it's company in Jönköping, it's doing for construction tech, and now they just got a value of 700 million euros and been acquired from KKR, American giant investors. So again, what we see is now it's huge transactions, huge things going on that we see on the headlines, but we haven't really tracked on it. So I think it's super interesting in the next 3 months to see what's more is cooking in the ecosystem. And then, of course, one of the headlines we've seen is Montero went in and took over from Planima. So Planima is it's a maintenance for real estate. So they've been in the industry for 10 years now, and Montero just took these people in. Jens, one of the co-founders, is a great guy, a lot of knowledge. And Montero is normally pushing business to business software business. And the most interesting thing with this is actually, so they went in and acquired Planima, but also they just launched a new fund. And what with this, they said one of this money will go heads on to Denmark, Michael. So they will allocated a large sum of this money to Denmark for finding great software companies, probably PropTech and ConTech companies there. So I'm pushing some money to you there, Michael. And then, well, we talking about, actually we're having an event tomorrow, so we will talk about urban real estate and food tech. So we see more and more discussion about finding different kind of ways, not just talking about property management companies, just talk about energy. What we see in the trend now is more and more interesting solutions coming up. I had a pitch for a couple of days ago with some girls who invented a machine that kills bedbugs for real estate. So I think it's really key where we're going right now in general with the whole ecosystem. Like I said, it's not just about energy and property management system. We're getting wider and deeper, and I think that's with the monies coming into the ecosystem. I think we have a great journey ahead.
So basically wider, deeper, real scaling, going from basically pilot to large scale rollouts, and also potentially solving the exponential challenge, which is bedbugs. All right, that's a memorable one that will keep you scratching for weeks. Thank you for that, Roger. And what's the vibe in the Swedish market otherwise? How's the transaction market? How's things otherwise? Is it like on hold? Is it bubbling? Tell us a little bit more.
I think it's bubbling. I have to say, we're getting a lot of questions from around the world also about, of course, Scandinavia, Nordics, and Sweden, what's going on. But I think when we look at the capital, Stockholm, I think it's growing. Of course, there's still discussion about vacancy. It's bigger than normal, and I think that's for everyone. But that's just a trend. But I think in general, we see that construction, we're starting to build again. It's been very, very slow the last 2 years, but I think it's getting there. And if we listen to Max from Newsec, the head of Newsec, he's really opportunity what's going on. So again, if you follow the big leaders like Max with Newsec and a couple of other people, I think they are very opportunity what's going on. So we are with this together with all the great solutions out there. I think we the nearest couple of years is going to be a good ride.
All right, that's great. All right, let's move on to Norway. Daniel, what's new in Norway?
All right, I'm sharing my screen, sliding over here. Let me see. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. All right, let's start with what's happening here in Oslo, because the big thing right now, obviously, is also PropTech Summit. It's on October 22nd. And, you can think of it as our version of Almedalsveckan or Arendalsuka or Slush, but focused entirely on real estate innovation and all packed into one single day under one roof. So for that, we need a big roof. And we're taking over Construction City, which is a brand new 100,000 square meter innovation hub in Oslo, which is really exciting. And we're filling it with 5 stages, nearly 50 sessions, and a lot of conversations about risk, resilience, and innovation. So you can check out the program online. It's proptechsummit.no. And obviously, if you can't make it this year, no worries. We're doing it again during Oslo Innovation Week next year as well. But if you do want to join us this time, there's still time, and you can use the code. I put it on the screen here, Nordic PropTech, for a very nice discount. We've got international speakers on the main stage. We've got 2 stages entirely dedicated to practical PropTech. We have 1 stage entirely dedicated to planners and architects. And a whole stage also for founders and investors. So there's honestly something for everyone there. So hope to see you. I brought some headlines as well. This is sort of from the market side. Things are, pretty much where they were last year. Not a lot better, not a lot worse. Still a lot of consolidation going on as investors are sort of sticking with quality and companies that are in the green already. Quite a few Norwegian PropTech companies, after a few tough years, now seem to be in a pretty good position internationally. We're seeing international activity from companies like Rubus, Bird's View, Cartesian, Layout, and a whole slew of new AI tools that are, aimed at planners and architects in the wake of SpaceMaker or Autodesk Forma, which they're now called. So far this year, there have been about 23 deals that we've been able to identify, which is pretty much on track with last year. And this also includes, I think, 4 exits that we know of. This past quarter for Placewise, a retail technology company that was acquired by TSS. And most recently, Nordic BIM Group, which was acquired by Hawk Infinity. So, in general, companies basically keep stepping away from the grow at all costs mindset, and which is pretty hard to do with a slow the slow wheels of real estate, So instead, we're seeing a lot more focus on steady organic growth and a lot more companies financing that growth with loans instead of venture capital. Just finally, I just wanted to touch on the big story that everyone's talking about globally. Obviously, it's also rolling into Norway, data centers. Wall Street's obsessed, and OpenAI just announced it's building its first Nordic data center. It's called Stargate Norway. They're building it with Nscale and Aker. And I'm bringing this up because, Nordic PropTech is right at the center of this new asset class, with digital infrastructure, energy systems that are already merging with real estate, and showing how buildings can evolve from just using energy to actually becoming active parts of a bigger and sustainable system. So you have PropTech moving in with renewable hydropower, super efficient cooling, waste heat being reused locally. Given that these data centers aren't just big bubble, they're becoming engines for Nordic PropTech, at least Norwegian PropTech, and for green innovation. And I think that's going to be the foundation for everything from smart buildings to climate positive neighborhoods. And of course, it's something that we're going to be discussing at the summit in October.
Great. So basically what I'm hearing is a blurring of lines and basically different sectors being integrated and being looked at in a whole new way. But also, I think there's an old saying of ships, like steady as it goes. So
Yes.
This is it's a 1,000-year industry, and it doesn't change overnight. There are things happening, but they take time, care, and attention, and also takes patient capital, which venture capital isn't always entirely the right fit for. So that's really interesting. But also, you mentioned 4 exits, right? So there are also some things happening there. That's really helpful. And so, what's the overall mood in Norway right now? Is it big smile or some trepidation?
Yeah, nervous smiles. People are sort of intimidated by the market these past years. Some of these exits are out of necessity. Some of them are out of trying to get larger markets. I think people are sort of just sitting around waiting for the market to turn, but it really hasn't happened that much yet. And we've had a few interest rate cuts, and it hasn't had the effect that we've been expecting so far. But still, people are sort of waiting.
Okay. So there's a waiting element there. Great.
Yeah.
And we just had a little slide in there from Stine, which is that whilst you're waiting, a great way, if your PropTech solution, is to put in basically a nomination for the Nordic PropTech Awards. This is the collaboration between the 4 associations. The deadline is tomorrow. And we usually have 100. We're very close to that number, but it's not the number of nominations that matter, is the quality of them. And they, of course, go in front of a jury drawn from across the Nordics of leaders and executives from across the real estate industry, who basically will have an opportunity to look much more thoroughly and closely at these solutions. But let's go to Pavel.
Of course, we need to just mention that we'll be announcing the nominees in Oslo in October.
That's right. Part of the Nordic PropTech Awards on tour takes in Oslo, and usually as during the Innovation Week, indeed. So we're very much exciting to see everybody at a new expanded on steroids Oslo PropTech Summit. This is really taking it to the next level. Also looking forward to seeing the new construction city. That sounds super exciting. And also interested to see that you have an insurer as one of the big supporters. I think personally, I've been waiting for the insurers to wake up to the unaccounted for risks that they are carrying on their books, right? And
deeply connected to PropTech, obviously.
Deeply connected, exactly.
And,
All right, let's move to Finland, and let's basically hear what's new in Finland, what's coming up. Pavel.
All right, thank you, Michael. Let me just quickly share my screen here. All right, so kicking things off with Recotech, our big event in November. We're about should I say, maybe 99% done with the program. I'd love to be revealing it here, but we're not quite there yet. But very soon we'll be coming out with the whole program. We have our keynote speaker, who shall yet remain unnamed at this point to the public, but it's all coming along very nicely. We have over 50 startups and scale-ups in both PropTech and ConTech that have signed up now from all corners of the world, from countries like Nigeria to Argentina to South Korea, and then obviously a lot of companies in Finland and in the Nordics. So it's coming along very well. And this year we have two different tracks. We have a PropTech track and a ConTech track. So no matter sort of what angle you're kind of representing in the industry, there will be something interesting for you there, definitely. There's still time to join, to register. There's a QR code on my slide there in the upper right hand corner that'll take you to the registration page. So I hope to see all of you there. And regarding NPA, of course, we'll be revealing the finalists for Nordic PropTech Awards at Recotech. So definitely something you don't want to miss. And then keeping up with the Nordic PropTech Awards theme, here at PropTech Finland, we started an accelerator this fall, led by our PropTech Finland head honcho Jaakko, to mainly focusing on companies who applied for NPA, but sort of our whole ecosystem as a whole to kind of scale up and become better at pitching. We had a pitching coaching session a couple of weeks ago for companies to kind of hone their skill a little bit in that, and it'll kind of pick back up after the finalists are revealed, and we'll be kind of active with that all throughout the winter, going into the NPA finals coming up in the spring. And then some ecosystem news. We started our sort of fourth ecosystem, so we now have four thematic ecosystems under sort of our belt in a way. So this one is called Built Environment Energy Ecosystem. We're bringing together the built environment sector, energy sector, research sector, and startups to sort of accelerate Finland's energy transition in a way. And what we're aiming to do is enable the development and scaling of energy solutions that can be kind of distributed or flexible in mostly in buildings and neighborhood level energy systems. So there's obviously a lot of innovation in that sector in Finland as well, but right now it's still sort of fragmented. So we're bringing everyone together to kind of tackle all these questions and things together. So that's something very exciting. We had our kickoff last week, and now we're in the middle of our first kind of joint development projects and pilots. So more information on this will be coming around in the following months as well. Then some news regarding our sort of Maria 01, where we're located. Supercell, the big gaming company, is building their new headquarters right next door to us, so they'll be our new neighbors. They're moving from Jätkäsaari, where their current office is, to right here to Maria 01. So that's very exciting. We're going to be getting some new neighbors in a few years down the line. So something fun to look forward to right here in Kamppi. And then finally, something I touched on last time was the Kone Renaissance program, which is being kicked off today, actually. So that's somewhere where we're headed after we're done with the stream here is the Kone Renaissance kickoff event, where they're creating an ecosystem for renovation technology, kind of renovating our existing building stock and new innovations related to that. So a lot of fun, interesting things going on in the Nordics right now. I hope I kept it short and sweet since we're kind of short on time. So yeah, that's the headlines from Finland.
Great, excellent. All right, well, we are on the home stretch here. If you just tuned in, this is the Nordic Quarterly News. It is something that happens in the name. It's quarterly. We are looking briefly back and looking ahead. Just to go back to the beginning, we talked about what's been the most exciting since we last met, and for us here in Copenhagen, it's probably take barbecue, which was an extravaganza this year. Really exciting group of people who met, including our investor startup bike ride, which is a de rigueur experience where we basically pair people off and send them off cycling together. And actually on that, for those who are interested, we have a follow-up post on our what's it called, blog, so to speak. Constructive Capital meets climate accountability. We had the CEO of Urban Partners and also the CEO of Plan A basically discuss the challenges and accountability around constructive capital on stage at Tig Barbecue. So do look that one up for more insights. A quick look through other headlines from Denmark. There's a quite exciting one from what's it called, an update here from Ejendomswatch with Tulandergruppen, and actually that's a good transition to briefly talk about the fact that they are coming to Norway as well. Isn't that right, Daniel? And actually, Bjarke is everywhere at the moment. Here's the front page of the Contech supplement from our good friends at the Contech Lab. So it's like omnipresence everywhere, or as I think the title of a movie is Everything Everywhere All at Once, something along those lines. Other exciting news that we are keen to share is basically an update from PropTech. That was the one from PropTech Norway. We'll go back to keeping the time quick and efficient here. The other one we're exciting to share is this one here. Which is our good friend of the house, Ashken, who's the CEO of Cobblestone. They've just signed a basically record-breaking deal where they've taken on the portfolio from one of the big pension funds here, PFA, to the value of 24 billion kroner, which in Swedish krona, Norwegian krona, and indeed in euro is something entirely different. But you get a sense of it. It's a big opportunity and big task here. Here are the two proud people from Cobblestone who deserve a hearty, warm welcome to what will undoubtedly be a gargantuan task, but also a very exciting one because it is definitely a PropTech forward undertaking. Talking a little bit more on the classic side, around since I think the 80s, we have a really strong player and a good member of ours, a solid member, which is Unique, and they are continuing to expand and move into the basically the next phase of their development, working with main capital partners, and they've acquired LEB Systems. So it'll be watch this space, see what happens on that front. And then last but not least, a little personal note here in the age of circularity and the challenges around development. I thought I'd share the good news that we have a development here reported by Estate Media, which is that this little tower here, which you can see on the screen, has been standing still for quite a while because of basically a discussion around whether the concrete will hold. It seems like that is warming up again. So the Copenhagen skyline will become even more active. But with the time available, I just want to also quickly highlight a little bit of what is on our reading list here. There's a new book out. It is free, meaning open source, so to speak, as I understand it. Available thanks to some Realdania funding. Really quite useful and quick read around measurable impacts for urban development. It is a part of a trilogy, kind of Lord of the Rings effort. So I commend that to you. I've recently read it. Really useful. And if you look at the Danish market, there's this little puppy here, quite heavy. Also a Realdania production, which is basically around life quality in Denmark. It isn't in Danish, but again, available as a PDF on their website. And maybe the GPT can turn that strange, potato in the mouth Danish into a legible language for you. And then last but not least, I hold up the single and absolutely only copy of the physical copy of the PropTech guide, which we produce twice a year, and a new copy of that is coming out for all those who are interested in the coming days and weeks. But with the final minutes in the program before we round up, I think I will leave the final point really on the call to action, which is that the Nordic PropTech Awards season for 2026 is underway. You can still, in the next 24 hours or so, nominate your own company, or nominate another company. So nominate yourself or nominate somebody else. That would be a really good opportunity to engage with experts across from the Nordics. And with that, we'll close out with a quick round of any particular people you want to highlight from the jury that you basically put in from Sweden, for example. Any particular people you're super excited about joining the efforts to basically review all these applications and give constructive feedback to these hardworking companies?
Well, I actually forgot a big thing. We actually have the 2 new unicorns in Sweden.
Yeah,
Also, we have
okay.
the Lovable and Nothing. So good, well done to them and Swedish tech again. So congratulations. Well, I think this jury, like always, we have amazing jury. We have the innovation director from Stockholm city sitting in the smart city. We have in Helsingborg. So we have 2 cities with us this year, which is amazing. We have really great construction companies, Skanska, I think Peab also is joining in. And then we have a couple of new Heba Real Estate, Heba Fastigheter, coming really far ahead in their journey when it comes to PropTech. She's the new CDO sitting in the jury, and which is yeah. And then, of course, Hugo, who's partner that I have.
I think that's a good way to basically say we have a super strong jury here ready and waiting with bated breath about for those applications there. So to round up quickly, we came up on time. I'm just going to ask for one quick call to action. What's the key thing you'd like people to do next? And we'll do it in a different order here. Daniel, you go first.
Well, sign up for the Nordic PropTech Awards, and looking forward to seeing everyone in Oslo in October, and then in Helsinki later in November.
Fantastic. All right, Pavel.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Piggybacking off of that, obviously sign up for Nordic PropTech Awards, and then sign up for Recotech right after that. You'll first hear about all the finalists for NPA.
Excellent. So Oslo PropTech Summit, Recotech, and Roger.
We're going a delegation trip to New York in 4 weeks. So we have some spots left. You want to come with us to New York, Cretech, and meeting real estate companies, investors, together with Swedish real estate companies. Join us. It's going to be great fun.
Great. New York. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, as the saying goes. And in closing, I'm going to highlight 2 things. One, picking up on Roger's point, we usually visit the Stockholm stand at MIPIM, and we also do something on, of course, the Danish stand. But thank you to Byggesystem for their work there. So we will be there at MIPIM next year. And then looking a little bit further out, I'm excited to reveal the title for the 2026 PropTech Symposium. It will be Taming the Dragon, and it will be the 21st of May 2026 in Copenhagen. So we hope to see you there, but that is only after you've done all the other things that we have talked about today. This is it for today. Thank you for tuning into the Nordic PropTech Awards. Thank you to PropTech Sweden, PropTech Norway, and PropTech Finland. This is a wrap. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in about 3 months' time.
Thank you,
Thank
Michael.
you, everybody.
Thank you,
Take
everyone.
care.